Welcome. My name is Carl Johann Schroeder, and this is my meetup called Inner Selves for Outer Mastery, where every Sunday, Spirit gives me a topic a few weeks in advance to explain to myself and to others, because I want to be a real teacher, and to be a real teacher, you also have to be a real student, right? In any profession, you're always learning. You're always developing your craft. Which is a good sign of whether or not you're in the right job, in the right place, whether you're interested in keep growing there. Just a little anecdotally, and I suppose this fits into the topic. So today's topic is boundaries, and it's divine boundaries. I've done many topics over the years about setting healthy boundaries, which is so important and one of the great things that people talk about on the spiritual path, because the spiritual path is all about clearing out the things that hold us back, that stop us, that block us, and discovering from deeper within just how unlimited, how amazing am I? And there's no limit. It turns out you're amazing. You're a fantastic divine creator being who is here to work endless wonders and joys, to share your gifts with the world. But we all have certain blockages to that, don't we? So I was going to say a little anecdote of my own history of that. I had a big spiritual awakening after college that really tuned me into, oh my God, the universe is alive. It loves us. It can guide us. It can help us to have the most amazing, wonderful lives and heal the planet and world peace and all this amazing stuff. And then I made a classic mistake, which was to start projecting, because there were just too many things inside of myself that I didn't have a clear view of, and I didn't understand how to change. So I went from like, oh my God, the world is so amazing, to like, oh my God, other people need to change because they're holding me back. You know, all the scary stuff in the world, right? So, well, I tried quitting my job and just writing a book real fast and inspire the world, save the world. And I couldn't really do that. And I go back to work, and I realized, like, I need to have a life. I need to, like, make this work as I go. It's a very much as you go process in life, right? It's in process, so in progress. So I went back to work, and I had a whole career in computers. That's what I had graduated in. And all the while through my career thinking, like, this isn't really what I love. I mean, I can get into it at times. I can really enjoy my coworkers. I can really enjoy working for some companies. You know, I can, but my real passion is like, oh my God, that spiritual awakening I had right after college. Like, oh my God, the universe, I have to learn about how the universe works. This is amazing. The universe is our eternal companion. It's like some of those great sci-fi shows. Well, I remember, you know, I grew up on Star Trek, classic Star Trek. And it's wonderful how Star Trek has, you know, continued through the generations. So you probably all have, most of us have some memories of some version of Star Trek. But like the classic Star Trek, there was one where they went to a planet where this guy lived alone, and they were like, oh my gosh, how can you live alone? You must be so sad and lonely. It's like, no, I have my companion. He had this companion energy intelligence who supplied his every need and all the companionship he wanted. And, you know, being a drama, then there turned out to be some complications, and, you know, Captain Kirk has to do something to liberate the guy from the companion. But that's not the point. That's where the metaphors change, okay? Any metaphor, anything that resonates for you, notice exactly what resonates, and notice when it stops being true for you. So my little point was just, you know, this classic Star Trek show about this guy living on a planet with his companion. You have a companion universe. The entire universe it's amazing. It's alive. Call it source, God, goddess, great spirit, creator, whatever you want to call it. Big hug, okay? Sometimes I just feel so hugged by the universe. I'm like, big hug. Oh yes. But yeah, it's fantastic. And you feel how fantastic life can be in all of your peak moments, right? The best times in your life, hopefully, we've all had these times where it's like, oh my God, it's so good. I'm in such a great flow. It feels so great. I think I made it. Life is going to be like this from now on. And then it's not. Something changes. And we talked about this last week. It's actually a property of the flow. Don't be afraid of it. When you get in a flow and you feel fantastic and amazing, you are tapping into the real universe, the way things really work. There's a real paradise that is always there for you. And then when you get out of the flow, people can get all scared. But the fear comes from false negative beliefs. Okay, you need to understand that fear indicates there's something not true going on. So don't be afraid of your fear. Just use your fear to realize, oh, okay, life doesn't work because something's not true, because really life does work. So my point is, when you get in a flow and your life is amazing and you're like, oh my God, I want my life to be like this from now on, and then it changes, people often buy into the false beliefs that say, yeah, that thing is bad for you. Never do that thing. Those people that you can't survive. You're gonna die if you have anything to do with that. You gotta obliterate. You gotta get rid of bad things. And that's where all the negativity comes from in the world. That's basically a definition, a working definition of negativity, is when you focus on getting rid of the bad things. Instead of make use of negative things, make use of what is bad for you, just in so much as realizing, like, that's not good for me. So it's kind of like instructions to put something together, some assemble furniture or whatever, or a recipe. It says, like, do not do this. There's a few things you should do not do, okay? Don't get stuck on the do nots in life. That's what bad things for you mean. It just means do not do that. I feel afraid. Yeah, you're afraid because you think that's the only thing there is for you. If you'll feel excited when you start realizing, like, oh, okay, that's bad for me, but these things are good for me. And seeing something that was bad for me actually kind of helped me to clear my thinking and realize, this is serious. Let me choose something that's good for me. It can refresh and renew your commitment to what's right for you when you have a little taste of what's not right for you. But obviously, a lot of suffering in the world has happened because people get stuck on the bad things, the things that are bad for them. One of the big mistakes is to say, it's absolutely bad. It's bad for me right now. It's bad for me forever. It's bad for everyone. Nobody should ever do this. Don't ever talk about this. It's forbidden. It's taboo. La, 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 to only sing happy thoughts. That's all the path of negativity. Positive energy is about building bridges, understanding how to make a good use of everything. Even something that's bad, you can make a good use by, like, well, I'm not going to get real deeply involved with that. I'm just going to see it from a distance. I'm going to wish people well who are caught in that. It's like, maybe I'll just sort of call out, like, hey, there's a better way. You don't have to be stuck in that if you don't like it. And then I'll think about what I need to really do, what I need to really value. So there's a sense of turning around, right? There's a sense of turning point. And that's the problem, is people need to get good at the turning point. So when you're in a flow and you're having a wonderful time in life, and then something changes and, like, oh my God, now I have to pay the bills. Don't freak out. Don't go with the false beliefs that say that's a bad thing and you've got to obliterate the bad things and you're going to focus on the bad things and the bad things will always be out to get you. That's a scary direction. That's a direction of hurt and anger and fear and all kinds of stuff, all the emotions that don't feel so great, right? So that is telling you, your emotions are telling you, don't go that way. Go the happy way. Well, that's obvious at some level. Everybody's like, well, of course I want the happy stuff, but the bad stuff is out to get me. No, it's not. The bad stuff is out to live its own life. It's not even bad necessarily for everyone. There are some things that could be really good for somebody. Okay, if your parents pushed you to be a dentist when you're really an artist or an inventor, then that's really bad for you to be a dentist. But obviously it's really good for someone who's born to be a dentist, who loves to be a dentist, to be a dentist. Okay? And then there are things that aren't good for anyone. Okay? There are things that are just anti-life. It's like, that's not the way to go. Such as not loving, but rather focus on hurting. And that's what a lot of people are doing in the world today. That's why it's such a scary world, right? It's because there are so many people who they've already dismissed the possibility of being nice, kind, loving, supportive of people. Why? Because they grew up with experiences and beliefs that the world is out to get them. There are all these bad people. So you don't be nice to a bad person who's out to get you. You got to be mean. You got to be tough. So there are all these people who have written off love. They don't believe in love. Love is weak. Love will get you used. What? You're going to help your enemy, and then your enemy will just, haha, thanks for helping me. Now I'm stronger to bash you. It's like, so there are a lot of people who believe love is weak, and What's the opposite? I mean, hurting people. Oh, hurting, that's strong, that's powerful. I can threaten people. I'm going to hurt you unless you do what I want. Okay? And then the person's like, okay, I'll do this. And then, ooh, that worked. I'll say it again. I'll hurt you if you're, and people get stuck on that. So it's not just like a one-time survival thing. It's like, I'm going to be tough, stay away. It's like people get stuck on being hurtful and mean. It's like, that's the way of life. It's like, why would I ever change? Why would a person give up their leverage? Why would a person give up their formula for success in life just because, well, it hurts people? So there are a lot of people who like just become numb. It's like, well, I don't care if I hurt people. And then they lie a lot because, remember, it's a lie to start with that you have to live by hurting with people. The truth is that you live by love. Love draws you to where you belong. Love brings out your gifts and your talents. Love connects you with the universe that loves you. Love keeps you safe. Love is the real divine boundary. So we're going to talk about boundaries, and just in this introduction, I want to get some of the basic ideas out there. So the point being that we're all here to individuate. We're all here to discover more of who we are. That's just a fact of life. That's how consciousness works. And basically, you want to go as far in life as you can while your emotions are good. You know, there's two basic kinds of emotions, but they're not really good and bad. It's more like the pleasant, expansive emotions, like I'm happy, yes, or the contractive emotions, corrective emotions, I like to call them. Emotions that say something's not right, I got to fix that. I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm afraid, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm, so on and so on. I'm grieving, I'm sad. Something's got to change, right? And people say like, well, obviously, but they don't realize, obviously, your emotions are your friend. All of your emotions, that's your sacred energy. That is you from the world the way it's meant to be, pushing in and saying, look, I'm reacting to this or reacting to that. I'm reacting for it or I'm reacting against it because that is or isn't a part of my true world, my real paradise. You see, every one of you, every one of us, we have a true paradise that we come from. We need to understand, so like I said, your belief systems. Your belief systems are what really runs the world. Go with your beliefs as long as they work for you. As long as you're getting happy emotions, the really happy, expansive, joyful emotions, that means great. Things are working. Go for it. Try some stuff. Have some fun in life. But when you get some of these corrective, unpleasant emotions, don't assume that means, oh, the whole world doesn't work. It means that something isn't right for you. Back off, change your beliefs, understand where you need to make a turning point, where you make a positive use of what's not good for you. Like, how can I make a positive use of something that's bad? Like I said, it's just a do not do instruction, okay? The instruction manuals. Don't get stuck in the first few lines that say, do not stick your tongue in the light socket, do not eat rocks, do not whatever. Yeah, okay. Now tell me what I do. And then you go on to all of the endless instructions of the universe. The universe will guide you constantly, continually, for all the good things to do. Just don't get stuck on the do not do's. So you can individuate by conflict, or you can individuate by harmony. Basic concept here. You are here to learn more about yourself. You're here to feel more alive, more free, more who you really are. That's the source of all joy. So learning who you are, like the ancient temple in Greece that said, know thyself. It was one of many little phrases, guidance phrases that were on that temple of Apollo. But the one, know thyself, that one has really stuck with people, really resonates. Know yourself, know about yourself. What's interesting is that the meaning of that actually has changed a lot. These days, people say, know thyself with a sense of like, to know how amazing you are, to know all the things you're capable of, to know your limits and your strengths, and to really maximize your amazing abilities in life. Know how amazing you are. The human potential movement, right? Actually, back in Greece, what they meant by that was simply know your place in society. Do not try to be something you're not. Just focus on being a good, whatever you are. Just focus on being obedient, serving, etc. Well, in today's world, that sounds awful. Like, don't tell me I have to obey. I have to be free. I'm going to expand. I'm going to be amazing. So it shows you how over the centuries and millennia, consciousness has changed. It used to be that our consciousness was largely guided by our higher self. And that was the gods of ancient mythology. That was the sense in Greece where, if you read a lot of the ancient stories, it's mostly about human beings being guided by the gods, by their gods telling them what to do. And all the wars and things in life, that's all the gods telling people what to do. People are almost just like puppets. Well, we're not puppets anymore. We're ready to become more of our higher self, who was always telling us what to do. No, not telling people to have wars. That's where they corrupted the voice of the higher self. But there's been a basic pattern through the centuries and millennia where you have a higher self. You have a greater being. You have an infinite you that has all the answers, that is planning your life, that is continually updating those plans. So don't worry, I made a mistake. I only get one chance. I screwed up. I ruined my life. No, those are all false beliefs. It makes you afraid to think you have to be perfect. You only had one chance, right? Fear is your friend. It's an emotion saying something's not true. It's not true that you only get one chance. You get as many chances as you need. This is why, Jesus in the Christian tradition, it's not even about Christianity, right? Jesus wasn't even a Christian. Jesus was Jewish. The point is he was a great philosopher of how to live peacefully and effectively. And he emphasized forgiveness. Like, God lets things go. Why would God hold a grudge? Why would God get stuck on, you did something wrong, you got to be punished for that? God is just like, oh, you goofed, you didn't do it right, you're suffering for it. Mistakes are their own punishment. God is always ready to here, have another chance. Let me tell you how it really works. Now, here, learn a lesson. Again, all that sense of making a turnaround. When you make a mistake, when you run into something that's not good for you, the way to handle it is to get a clearer sense of who you really are and turn around. Realize, that's just not where I belong. The fact is that life is full of many places to belong, many ecosystems. Nature is often guiding us, showing us great examples of how life really works. So yes, the Earth is a very generous planet full of many different ecosystems, many different creatures. And they don't mix, okay? Right? Somebody in the jungle can't survive in the desert or vice versa. Everybody's adapted to their environment. A deep sea animal can't live on the land, it'll explode. A creature on the land can't live in the air, it'll fall. But some creatures are more adaptable than others, right? Like a duck. I love ducks. They can fly, they can swim, they can walk on the land. Some animals are very flexible. We're looking to be more flexible and still be aware of we have our limitations, partly due to how well we can function, and really deeply due, all of your limitations are your friend. All your limitations are really guiding you back to your center. There are things you are really good at, really meant to do. There are people who really want to meet you. There are people who are waiting for someone like you to show up, and you're waiting to meet them. There are places where you belong to thrive. Your ecosystem, your place in the creation. That's what you want to go to. So when you run into blockages in life, things that are bad for you, things that aren't working for you, just take that as a big hint. Oops, took a wrong turn. I can't function here. I don't want to sit here and fight it. That's what a lot of people do. They sit there and they fight what's not good for them, which only adds more energy to the whole conflict. Then you can individuate by conflict. Remember, I was saying individuating is getting to know who you are as an individual. So you can individuate by conflict a certain amount. I don't really know exactly who I am, but I know all the things I'm not. I'm not a dentist, and I'm not a soldier, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. Well, what do you do? What do you enjoy doing? I don't know. I have to think about that. It's like, know thyself, right? So what you want to do is individuate by harmony. Harmony, the places that you're in harmony with, things that work for you and you work for them. And your soul, your higher self, your deeper inner being, whatever you want to call it, the bigger, greater you that's in touch with the universe, that will guide you to exactly where you can thrive. So you don't want to just stay in survival mode in places where you don't really belong. You want to make a turnaround and have a natural divine boundary of yourself. That's the true boundary. Boundaries aren't based on how much armor and defenses and money I have to fight off the bad guys. That's a very, very weak boundary, because that's counting on, like, I'm going to be the biggest and baddest. Well, there's always going to be somebody bigger and badder than you, okay? So, no, you want to have natural boundaries which are based on who you are, your true functioning. The universe loves you to be more of who you really are. The universe continually supplies you with everything you need to be who you are. It's like, what do you mean I'm supplied to be who I am? I can't function. I don't have much money. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's like, don't worry about what you don't have. Focus on what you can do, what you do have. The universe, it's guaranteed. The universe is always making sure you have a place to start. Right here, right now, there is something you can do to feel more of who you really are, to think more of your true thoughts, to become more of your real self. And doing that, life is very incremental. The next door will open. Some doors will close, and you let them close because I didn't want to go there anyway. Other doors will open, and you'll be able to then do the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And you'll get on a roll with your emotions, and you'll get on a roll with the synchronicities and the opportunities coming to you. That, when you get on a roll and you get back into a flow, after having gone out of the flow, that means you made a turnaround. And your natural divine boundary is just being more of who you really are. That's the only thing that really protects you in life, being the real you. Why would you not want to be the real you? It's going to make you happy. It's going to give you life energy. It's going to excite you. It's going to bring opportunities and friends. It's going to make a better world. Oh, the make a better world part. See, that's where people have limiting beliefs. There are all these false beliefs that say, oh, no matter how good you are, no matter what you do, the bad guys, they're at the door. They're going to get you. No, they're not. This is what I'm teaching a lot these days, and a lot of other teachers are teaching. And I'm learning myself, right? We're all human. We all have to get used to this. But no, it's a multiverse. I'll conclude my introduction on this point. It is a multiverse. It's a multiverse of universes. Just tune into the universe where you belong, and you tune in by being a functioning person, more of who you really are. The universe will put you into the source will put you into the universe where you belong. And it's a multiverse. You don't even see other places where you don't belong. How does that work in practice? I don't know. Lots of people could have spiritual awakenings. People who were your enemy last week, they could suddenly realize I don't like to be this way. People could change. Some could die because they don't even want to be here. But a lot of people just pray for people. This is why Jesus emphasized praying for your enemy, because you want to help them change for themselves and for you. I just want you to be a happier, healthier person, finding where you belong. Because I don't know where exactly you belong. I'm still figuring out where I belong. But I know that the source, God is Great Spirit, whatever you want to call it, it has a good place for all of us. Everything working in the right place for it, like the human body. The human body has often been used throughout history as a template, as a microcosm, as a pattern for how the universe really works. Every organ of your body has a function. You want every part of your body to be healthy. You don't single out a part of your body and say, that part's the bad part. You're the part that, unless you have cancer, but that's not a normal part of your body. See, the healthy body, you want every part to continue to be healthy, to be fed and nourished, to do its job. That is how the universe, the source of all universes, the multiverse, that's how it feels about you. It wants to get you in the right place where you'll be functioning, healthy, happy, thriving, instead of just surviving in your reactions, thriving in your creative response of being more of the real you. That's what divine boundaries can do for you. All right, that was a good introduction. I feel happy. Okay, I'm going to describe now the format that we use for the check-ins, for the sharings. I encourage you to pause the recording and do this for yourself, because it's going to help you to center, ground, and balance your energy in this challenging subject material. And then I'll be sharing some highlights from the conversation we had based on the check-ins. Try this structure. We want to have structures that set us free. So here's a good structure for sharing. 3 parts. Name and where you're calling from first. Second, say a little something about how you're doing honestly. And it's really good if you can say it in the 4 categories. There are 4 categories of human experience. How are you doing physically in your body? How are you doing emotionally in your feelings? How are you doing mentally in your thoughts? And how are you doing spiritually in your values, your inspirations? So emotional, body, physical body, emotional feelings, mental thoughts, spiritual inspirations, just a little something to be honest, to be genuine, to connect. And then what do you think of this topic of like, are there real natural boundaries that would keep us safe, that would keep all the bad things away forever if we just really work with the true boundaries? What do you think? Absolutely. Yeah, no, thank you. And I just for anybody who doesn't know, I am someone who's, I stick close to the reality. I don't cover things over. I don't sugarcoat. There's a lot of really upsetting things going on in the world today, and sometimes I talk at very abstract levels. But yeah, I also I want to stay grounded. So I expect people like my friend here to come forward with what is going on in her community and how it upsets her, and we can relate. I mean, there's a lot of upsetting things going on in the world today. That's why we're getting deep in these seemingly theoretical topics, but they're actually very relevant to talk about boundaries. How do you deal with upsetting things? So hopefully you'll get some good ideas on how do you deal personally with processing, managing your reactions to this really upsetting thing that's upsetting lots of people. But the point would be that everybody has a slightly different reaction to this one event. Everybody needs to process their own personal reaction to find more of their own personal values, that strengthen your core self, and then you'll be able to come out stronger for the community. You'll have more of a sense of who you really are and how I'm guided to deal best with this situation. Because yes, something absolutely has to be done. The world is screaming to us to have reactions and responses. And the trick is to not stay in the survival reactions like I talked about last week of, the 4 survival reactions of fight, flight, freeze, and appease. We don't want to get stuck in that stuff, because then we're stuck on what we're not and what we're opposing, and we never really tap into who I am, my great strengths, my guidance. And it's not that we have to have all the answers. The point is that to do enough healing that we can hear our higher self, who does have all the answers, because our higher self is our part of the universe that's connected with all the other universes. And yes, absolutely effective guidance is coming through. So it's not we have to have all the answers. We have to heal ourselves enough so that we're on the track of knowing who we are, the biggest part of who we are being to be able to be guided by our higher selves, become more of our higher selves. So yeah, this is totally boots on the ground, really practical solutions, how to process the upsetting things going on in the world so that we become stronger for it, not stronger in a soldier way of I'm a stronger warrior. No, stronger in a way of I knew who I really am. I know why this situation is so not good for anyone, or I know what's going on. I have a sense of why life is the way this is and how I can really change it. So I hope that gives you. And yeah, exactly. And you need to do something. And just I'll make another quick little point that comes up many times is then you get emotionally ready to okay, I need to do something. What do I do? You get a whole nother set of false negative beliefs that say, well, you have to do something big enough and bad enough. You have to have enough money. You have to change the system. You have to no, you just do something that's within your means, but you do it with such a purity of intent. You do it with such a balance of divine principles that you're calling in and aligning with the source so that more of the source functions in your life. When you do the right thing within your means, more people everywhere do the right thing within their means. The whole world is on track. The source can function. Then that's when the world changes. The world does not change when somebody has $1 million, $1 billion, or somebody has the biggest army or whatever. The world does not change. In fact, the world gets worse because everybody's feeling powerless and trying to escalate an arms race. So just process your emotions to get a sense of guidance, of intuition, of this is what I can do that really is so beautiful, it's so perfect, it's so full of love. It doesn't matter if it's a really small action, just smiling or cooking a meal for someone or whatever. It's the right thing to do, and that changes everything.
That was really good, Carl. Thank you. Doing something within your means, and we all have different definitions of that. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know how important it is because I have to keep telling myself that, right? It's like this is the guidance we all need. So, yeah, I'm happy to say that. Yeah, the point is to tune into your own quality, to please yourself. And, there are a lot of people who say, like, don't look for approval. Don't look for anyone to be pleased. Don't look for leaders. Don't look for this. Don't look for that. Don't try to trust anyone. Don't try to be close to anyone. You can see where that goes, right? It's like it becomes less and less of come on. I mean, trust, intimacy, having someone to help you. I mean, that's what life is about. So honor the fact that you have these needs and desires. You want a good leader. You want friends who support you, who appreciate what you do. You want opportunities. You want all these things. You want someone to trust. Just find them from the right sources, okay? This is a major part of self-love, to realize I'm on the lookout for what I need, what I want. And I have lots of human needs and human wants, and they're good, they're fine. I respect and value my human needs and wants. So if I'm in a situation where I'm not getting what I need and want, I need to not invalidate them and say, you're wrong, you should have wanted me. No, they're just telling me who they are. They're not my audience. They're not my supporters. They're not my real, spiritual family, whatever. I also don't want to do the other side of invalidating me. Oh, I shouldn't have wanted any approval. I shouldn't have wanted any friends. I shouldn't have wanted anyone to like me. I should be a tough person, a universe of one. I shouldn't need community. I should be able to do it all myself. No, that's not it either. See, those two extremes, a lot of times negative beliefs, they come in two extremes, saying you have to have everybody like you, so convert everybody who doesn't like you. Or the other extreme, you shouldn't have anybody like you. Just be solitary. Just, don't care about what anyone thinks. Both are untrue. You want to get to the place where, yes, you need people to like you, you need people to help you, you need leaders, you need people who know something you don't, and they can teach you, and you can teach them something. You need all these things. You're just looking for the right place for that. Let go of the past. A lot of us have grown up in families where, in one way or another, they didn't give us our needs. That doesn't mean that the world has no place that will give us our needs. There are places that will give us our needs. It's just really hard when you grew up in a place that didn't give you your needs, because then you can lock in with thinking the false beliefs that say, well, I'm just not a good person. I shouldn't have these things. I shouldn't, I should compromise. And you get a lot of these nice people, getting married to a narcissist or voting for a narcissist, or, just trying to make do with things that really just appreciate the fact that's really not right for you. Just go somewhere else. Just let it go. Divine boundaries. Make a turnaround. Strengthen your self-love, your self-commitment. It's be that much stronger. Yeah, I really do need the right community for me. I really do need the right leadership. Let's go find it. And you start by finding it within yourself, because you have a whole world, you have a whole universe of support, your higher self, the parts of you, spirit guides, spirit friends. It's all within, quote unquote, within. That within just means that it's energetic. It's more of a pattern that you can feel, and it's not so visibly physical yet, but it's there. It's there. I mean, there's always something good in the physical reality, and it's corresponding to, there's always good energy for you to tune into.
Wow, thank you, Carl. That was super. I'm tearing up. That's really
awesome.
A fantastic statement and a fantastic point. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for that validation, because one thing I've been changing this year is more commitment to myself, to realize I don't have to run everything. And these meetups I've been doing, it's really learning how to be in my own flow, that my own higher self, my own soul family, they're coming through me. So I've been watching more of my videos in the process of editing them for my YouTube channel. And I've been noticing wow, when I get in a flow, I'm different. For one thing, my head shakes a lot, and somebody looking at it might think, oh, he's got palsy or something. No, it's the energy. I start vibrating. It's when you get in a flow, you can feel it. Just sort of, not so much step aside you don't belong, but step down a little bit. Just more of that kind of know thyself, or there's a Shaker hymn, simple gifts. It's a gift to be simple. 'Tis a gift to be free. 'Tis a gift to come down where you ought to be. Okay, that one makes me tear up. To come down from having to run everything and fix everything, come down and just realize, oh, I already have a higher self. I already have a universe that loves me. I already have a place where I belong. I can just relax and flow more. That's what you're looking for. That's where you belong in life, where you do something that's good for you and is good for your community. And then there's no sacrifice. There's no I have to do something at my expense for the other person. No, I'm doing things for the community of which I'm a part. So I'm always doing things for me, for you, for us, together, under the source. It's beautiful. It works. That's individuation by harmony. No conflict, just harmony.
I just check in. I've been feeling sick this week physically, and I'm very rarely sick, and it's just a cold, but I've just been exhausted, and I've also been feeling a lot of old emotions that are coming up, and I think I've been on this journey long enough to I do deeply believe that something is healing and moving through me. And then little voices come in my head saying no, you have some horrible illness that's going to take you down. So I'm feeling those polarities of trust and going with the flow and believing, and then having the kind of loud, fear voices coming in. And I love this topic. I feel it's very resonant with what I'm exploring right now, my own divine boundaries and what to step away from and what to move into. So I'm very appreciative of what you're bringing.
Beautiful. Thank you. So I wish you great processing, because
thank you.
Yes, being sick is a great time to baby ourselves a little bit. Just step back and realize I've got a pebble in my shoe. I've got something I've been running on that doesn't work, and it's come up to the surface for healing. And just for perspective, in the past few years where I've been really full-time working with my higher self, I've been having amazing experiences, not necessarily so pleasant, but really rapid illnesses coming in. I'll just wake up with really serious symptoms. You would think I'm in the middle of a flu. And I'm but I didn't have this last night. Maybe it's an energy thing. And then I find, I work with journaling, kind of, follow the emotions, follow the thoughts, and I get an aha moment and I get a sense of guidance. And then I remind myself it was an energy thing. It could clear up very fast, and it does. And a few hours later, I'm back to perfect health. It's what happened? Yeah. If I had gone to the emergency room, they would have said yeah, you're really sick. But I'm right. No, I think it's an energy thing. So yeah. It's really
that's helpful to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, energy is what's real. And when we find the changes in our beliefs that let in more healthy energy and let go the old patterns that never worked, don't worry. Physical life can heal and become thriving very fast.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.